The Gilgo Beach serial killings is a case that shocked the United States. And at the center of it was Rex Heuermann, a New York-based architect. Today, we look at his journey from denial to confession. A slow, complex process that unfolded over years.
And he's been indicted in a grand jury presentation by the Suffolk County District Attorney's Office for the murders of Melissa Bartholomew, Megan Waterman, and Amber Costello. The investigation of Maureen Brainerd Barnes is ongoing.
A cold case that finally has a breakthrough. Let's look back to July 14, 2023. On that day, Heuermann was in tears. He stood accused of 3 murders. As the prosecutors identified him as the prime suspect in a 4th killing, Heuermann pleaded not guilty.
There's no plea deal. He said from the moment I met him that I did not do this. So we're prepared to go forward. We will defend this case in a court of law, and we will go to trial in this case.
Exactly 1,000 days after his arrest, the 62-year-old showed no emotion as he faced a packed Suffolk County courtroom filled with the media, with the victims' families and uniformed officials. Then, Heuermann pleaded guilty to 7 murders. And that's not all. He also pleaded guilty to an 8th murder that he had not been charged with. All of this, a trend, a series of disturbing crime sprees spanning from 1993 all the way to 2010. The crime scene was near the Long Island in New York City. Heuermann, who was arrested in July 2023 outside his Manhattan office, had initially pleaded not guilty, raising the prospect of a lengthy trial. But all of that later changed. Rex is accused of a ghastly crime for which he faces life in prison with no chance of parole when sentenced in June. He strangulated and dismembered women, all of them who were sex workers, and he scattered their remains around an elite US coastal community. One victim's body was discovered around 110 kilometers away from the crime scene back in 1993. But most of the other women's remains were found in 2010 and 2011 near Gilgo Beach, which is an Atlantic Ocean barrier beach along this island's south shore. For years, the Gilgo Beach case baffled the investigators because there were no suspects that they were able to identify. In fact, some critics allege that it might have moved faster had the victims not been sex workers. The breakthrough in the decade-long investigation came from a multi-agency task force that was formed only in 2022. Detectives looking at the case zeroed in on Rex Heuermann that year after discovering that he was the registered owner of a vehicle which one of the victims had last been seen in. From that moment on, the case against Heuermann, who was a married man and a father of 2 at that time, began to take shape. The case was then built on DNA evidence which was recovered from a discarded pizza box and cell phone data which tied him directly to the victims. In fact, some of the most critical evidence was uncovered inside his own family home in a quiet suburban village. Investigating officials also revealed that Heuermann conducted hundreds of chilling online searches about the case, including one haunting question: why hasn't the Long Island serial killer been caught? Imagine it's the killer himself searching this question. Cut to June 2024, when during a court hearing, prosecutors revealed disturbing content that was found on Rex Heuermann's devices. There was a so-called planning document which outlined strategies for future killings, details of how to dispose a body, evade capture, and avoid leaving DNA evidence. The list also had supplies that could be used to carry out serial murder. The task force also used the newer field of genetic genealogy to identify some of the unidentified bodies at the time. Prosecutors say that the evidence known as genome sequencing, connected Heuermann to these killings. His arrest in July 2023 marked a turning point in the investigation, which had gone cold for over 10 years. The case has been widely documented, from films to docu-series. But in the real case, in the real investigation, Rex Heuermann is yet to be sentenced, which will take place on June 17, 2026. The prosecutors say that he is expected to receive 3 consecutive life sentences without parole for the killings of Melissa Bartholomew, Megan Waterman, and Amber Costello. He's also going to receive consecutive term of 100 years of life for the murders of Maureen Brainard, Barnes, Jessica Taylor, Sandra Costello, and Valerie Mack. Heuermann's conviction brings some closure to the families of these women who have waited for justice since the 1990s.